Hey guys, I really want to talk about this today because apparently what I said was controversial, and I think it's a topic that doesn't get enough discussion, and that's Jewish supremacy. I made a video yesterday stating that what's happening to my family in the West Bank as a Palestinian, being my family being terrorized by settlers, is caused not by white supremacy, by Jewish supremacy. I said that because my family in the West Bank is getting terrorized by settlers that claim that they are superior because they're Jews. They claim that we are inferior Goy. This is coming directly from the Yitzhar settlement in the West Bank next to my family's village, Burin. This upset a lot of people. I got accused of anti-Semitism because of this, when I really don't understand why. I think that there can be supremacists among any group. We talk about white supremacy all the time, no issue. White people speak out about white supremacy, not a problem. However, for some reason, when I talk about Jewish supremacy, which is what's happening to my family in the West Bank, there are a group of people that think they're superior to my family, not because of their skin color, because there are Iraqi Jews, brown Iraqi Jews in Yitzhar that are calling my family inferior. So clearly, it has nothing to do with skin color if they're brown Iraqi Jews, has nothing to do with their Aryan race. They don't mention that at all. It is specifically due to the fact that they believe they're superior because they're Jewish. Now, Zionism is a political ideology, and Zionism is what's brought about Israel. But Zionism is different from this because Zionism is the belief of having Israel in a Jewish homeland. It doesn't talk about the fact that you have to view people as less than, and Jewish supremacy specifically. This is specifically related to Jewish supremacy. There are supremacists in every single group. I see no reason why we can't talk about supremacists in this group. I've never met a Muslim supremacist or an Arab supremacist, but there are billions of Muslims. I promise you, if I look hard enough, there is going to be one Muslim somewhere in the world that believes he is superior because he's a Muslim. There is going to be one person in every group, just statistically, given the fact that there are millions, billions of people in different ethnic groups and different groups that believe they are superior. So I see no reason why we can't talk about Jewish supremacy. When I talk about Jewish supremacy, clearly, I'm going to talk about very specific individuals. I talked about specifically the Yitzhar settlement next to my family in the West Bank. This is the most radical, violent settlement in all of the West Bank. Yitzhar's had many reports written about them. They're very well known for their supremacist ideology. The head rabbi of Yitzhar, Yitzhak Shapira, has preached for the slaughter of non Jewish babies, not non white babies, non Jewish babies. The ADL, actually, the Anti Defamation League, a hyper Zionist hate group, what I would call them, because they basically shut down any sort of mention of Palestine. Even called him out and said that this was completely not acceptable because makes Jewish people look bad. You can't have somebody talking about advocating for the death of non-Jewish babies. So I got a lot of comments, people saying my statements were inflammatory. However, I'm clearly not speaking about all Jewish people, just like not every white person is a white supremacist. I see nothing wrong with it. Luckily, some people also mentioned to me in the comments that there are Jewish people that have called out Jewish supremacy before. I listed previously some Zionist organizations as well that have called out Jewish supremacy, like the Israel Policy Forum. Haaretz, the Israeli newspaper, has routinely called Netanyahu a Jewish supremacist, has called Ben Gavir a Jewish supremacist, Smotrich a Jewish supremacist. They believe they're superior because they're Jewish. They have publicly made statements related to Jewish supremacy. There is nothing wrong with calling this out. I think the reason that people are afraid of calling this out is because Jews are a minority group in the United States and they don't want to be accused of anti Semitism, so they refrain from calling it out. However, there are some Jewish people that have called it out. One that I like a lot is Norman Finkelstein. He is actually the descendant of Holocaust survivors. I believe his parents were Holocaust survivors. Okay, he spoke out fervently, very pro Palestine, and I want to show you guys this clip because clearly Jewish supremacy is something that's actually happening, and there's no reason I think we should refrain from calling out supremacy among any group of people. So take a listen to this here.
We would have said Zionist billionaire
I know
donors,
you.
but now they've conflated Zionism. The Trump administration and the Zionists are conflating Zionism with Judaism, which is what I thought anti Semites did, right?
Well, A lot of people use Zionists. I happen not to. I mean, that would be a kind of a separate discussion. But you are correct. I use the term the Jewish supremacist billionaire class. There is a class of Jews who are Jewish supremacists. They believe that Jews can do no wrong. They believe that Jews have never done anything wrong. They believe that Jews are always innocent, immaculate victims. There is that class of people. Now, it's not all Jewish billionaires. There are some decent billionaires, I guess, at least in that question. But there's certainly a class.
Again, keep in mind, this is a Jewish man. So he is not an anti Semite that's just saying inflammatory things to stoke hatred. That's not the point of this discussion right now. The point of this discussion is to talk about the fact that there is supremacy among certain groups. And right now, specifically, what my family's going through is dealing with Jewish supremacy. And I have no issue calling that out because I know the vast, 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 vast majority of Jewish people are not supremacists. Keep in mind the settlers in the West Bank specifically, not this is even a microcosm within standard Israelis because most Israelis don't want anything to do with the West Bank. If you're an Israeli living in the West Bank, you're doing it because you're getting tax write offs. A lot of them are low income, and they're doing it because they specifically have a messianic vision for Israel. They believe in the greater Israel project. Not all Israelis believe in that. The vast majority don't. I've met a lot of Israelis that want all of the settlers out of the West Bank. So these are very specifically very ultra religious, radical Jewish people. The Yitzhar settlement, specifically next to my family's village, this is the most hostile Jewish settlement ever. That's in the West Bank currently. They're known. Tablet magazine called them the Jewish ISIS. So you remember these are very fringe people. Now, another Jewish supremacist that has gotten a lot of media attention is Jeffrey Epstein. Why am I calling him a Jewish supremacist? Well, because Jeffrey Epstein's first victim, Maria Farmer, spoke out years ago and she made an interview talking about what Jeffrey Epstein and Ghislaine Maxwell said to her. And they called her a pathetic white girl. They said that their Jewish blood was better than hers. Take a listen to what they said here.
So the country club, you weren't allowed to
So
go
yeah,
because
you
it,
just
it
never
was
know.
only for, people of a certain religion
Jewish
and
people,
ethnicity. Okay,
yeah,
so that's
religious.
unfortunate.
One time I heard Isabel say to her mother, Eileen, "Mommy, why do you call Maria a nobody?" And she said, "Honey, Isabel, Maria is not a Jew. She is a nobody."
This is crazy stuff. This is not normal. Again, this is a fringe group. I feel like I have to keep repeating that because I know that this video alone, people are going to accuse me of anti-Semitism. That's not the point of this video. That's not what I am. That's not what I'm saying. But this is going on to a small amount of people, and it's affecting my family. So of course I'm going to speak up on it. There's nothing wrong with doing that. There's nothing wrong with calling this stuff out. And I think the more we call it out, the more that there's going to be attention to it. So it just stops from happening. That's all I'm advocating for. Do not call somebody anti Semitic when they're not an anti Semite and they're calling out supremacy in any form that it comes in. There is nothing wrong with that. I have always supported and I've always been like I love all of my Jewish anti-Zionist Jews who have been supporting Palestine. There's nothing wrong with calling out supremacy among any form. That's what I wanted to say in this video. Let me know what you guys think in the comments because apparently this is a controversial topic. I'll see you guys next time. Make sure to click the subscribe button below if you want to see more of my videos. I'd really appreciate that and the like button as well. I'll see you guys later. Bye.